Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for that little bit of silence. I was just checking to make sure everything was up and running perfectly. So I was going through some ideas of what I could talk about in today's video, and then I realized something I was thinking about before I went to bed last night. I'm going to talk about horror films and the horror genre, if you will. Now, I've seen a lot of horror films in my day. You guys all know that. I've seen so many okay movies, and then there was this new one that I saw recently that I purchased on iTunes about a couple months ago that I thought, that's kind of an interesting movie. Now, I know there's a whole slew of horror films out there that could be good and could be scary to most people, but with the amount of horror films I've seen over the past 8 or 9 years, there's only been a handful of movies that have actually, really scared me. But this one that I saw recently, which I'm going to tell you about right now, the creepiness level was at about 9.5 for me. The horror aspect of it was maybe a 4.5 to a 5 on the scale of 10 to 10. And this movie is called Hereditary. It's got that creep factor, but every other movie I've seen after that or before that just didn't have that horror factor to me. Maybe it's because I'm so used to horror films nowadays that it just doesn't scare me anymore, or maybe it's just I'm immune to horror. I don't know. But I have seen a lot of other films. I talked about a couple of them. I was watching on Netflix The Witch the other day. Didn't have any effect on me. I watched, what was the other movie? As Above, So Below. That movie I watched before. It was there. It's interesting. I saw Malevolent. Not really a horror film. More like a thriller. I've seen so many horror films the last like 3 or 4 days, and it's just there's no it factor to these horror films that have come out in the past so many days. And I don't know what else to tell you guys. It just doesn't make any sense to me what these horror films are doing these days. Get Out might be a good film to go watch. I want to see that movie. It's probably not going to be on Netflix for a while. Or maybe it already is and I'm not watching it. But, there's got to be something. Even The Visit, when I went and saw The Visit, the new M. Night Shyamalan film that came out a couple of years ago, that didn't have any horror factor or creepiness factor or any of that stuff. It was just so weird. Weird all the way around. That no horror film in the past, say, 10 years has really given me that spook, that scare, or any of that stuff. It just doesn't do it. Maybe you guys can suggest a horror film that'll scare me, but until then, none of these horror films I've watched have any of that scare factor for me. And it goes back a long way too. I mean, it's not just 8-10 years ago. It's before that too when I watched horror films. It just never scared me. I don't know what else to tell you about on that subject. I'm going to let you guys go. You guys know the drill. And I will see you tomorrow with a brand spanking new vlog. Bye-bye.